before we get into who's better, let's just go ahead and get out of the way and talk about each character's strengths and what makes them so good. Okay, so let me just go ahead and give a broad statement about where I stand with FGC characters, because I've been playing them all pretty much since the day each one of them dropped. And I've got to say, I think that every one of them are at the very least high tier. At the very least. Alright? Like, Ryu, okay, like, Ryu's got all the neutral you need, all the Shakunetsu, Hadoken, all good, all his normals are good. The only thing that lacks is his movement, but dash walking makes up for where he lacks, and he also has, like, the most consistent, consistency with his kit. He doesn't have to worry about as many fallouts as, like, the other boys. So, and then with, like, Terry, we all know, raw buttons, nuts, everything like that. Ken, let me unga bunga hit buttons on you. So let's go ahead and go over, like, talking points I've mapped out. So, right off the bat, let's talk about who's got the best ledge trapping. Alright. Right now, like, you guys have seen my guides on Ken and Ryu when it comes to ledge trapping, but who I think has the best ledge trapping right now, after I've been sitting and thinking about it, it's definitely Terry, because Terry can literally cover all options at the ledge. Like, I feel like whenever I have my opponent hanging at ledge, they literally can't get past me, and let me explain why. Like, the main thing that makes Terry more broken at ledge than Shoto's is his option coverage, because of charge partitioning. If you're good at charge partitioning whenever you're spacing your normals, it makes it even harder for your opponent to get past you. So, like, if I'm sitting here spacing short hop fair into F-tilt, see, my trick here is I'm holding down after I do fair. When I go into F-tilt, I hit forward on the C-stick and I'm holding down, right? Why is that good, though? The thing is if my opponent is hanging at ledge here, I can sit here with this long-lasting -7 frame, like, hitbox at ledge and hold down and shield at the same time. And if they jump, hit my shield with an aerial or anything, I get the up B for free. They can't get past that. And if I want to mix it up, I can go back to roll distance like I do with Ken and Ryu. You know how I do, like, use Hadoken a lot to, like, kind of catch neutral get up and things like that? I can do the same thing with Power Wave, but I can pair this with fair and the same pattern and punish them with charge partitioning for whenever they try to hit me on shield. It makes it, like, to where pretty much as long as I don't overcommit, you're gonna get hit trying to get off the ledge. And that goes for, like, moves like, Ness's fair, like Samus jumping off the ledge with fair, all those annoying ass, like, super, like, aggressive reversal options. Even things like, Lucina aerials and things like that, because if they don't space it, it's not safe. Okay? So, ledge trapping, option coverage-wise, is just easier with Terry, just because he covers more options. Now, don't get me wrong, Ryu's and Ken's ledge trapping is still broken, but Terry's, if you implement charge partitioning, is kind of free. For best ledge trapping, goes to Terry, just because his raw option coverage is just broken. So, with that out the way, let's go ahead and talk about, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this one out of the way. This is another one going to Terry. Best out of shield option. Like, best out of shield options. Definitely goes to Terry. Definitely goes to Terry. There is no argument for who's got the better out of shield game. He's got his Nair, which by itself is frame 4, jump squat, that's the 7. So, like, you have a frame 7 option out of shield that can go into burn knuckle, and you have a frame 5 invincible option that beats literally every cross-up in the game. I'm not even bullshitting. It beats almost everything. Game & Watch, I'm sure you guys have seen it a million times. Game & Watch players will cross you up in there and immediately go into up B, right? Well, Shoto's, if you try to Shoryuken that, you lose. Clean. Like, you're just going to get hit just for trying to Shoryuken that. But because of his upper body, because of his entire body iframes at the very start of Rising Tackle, it beats it clean, and it kills him, and it kills Game & Watch at like 100 because of how light he is. Especially if you factor in Rage. Like, that move is broken. And that's not even talking about this right here. If I remember correctly, this right here, the spot dodge attack, I believe was somewhere around like 5 to frame 3. I don't know exactly. One of my goons in here who like knows exactly can tell you. But I don't have to explain to you how broken this is out of shield. Anytime you're in a scramble situation with like someone just like doing short hop mash aerial bullshit, like Crom, fucking whatever, if you just do this, you get a free combo starter. Like, this move right here is actually dumb. Alright? So you have input Rising Tackle, Nair out of shield, fair out of shield is also really good, and also -7. So like someone like spaces on block, you can just like out of shield fair and space on them. That's -6. Like, that's absolutely busted, right? So yeah, out of shield game definitely goes to Terry. Definitely goes to Terry. Who's got the best movement? And the best movement, I definitely have to give to Ken. Okay, I've been saying this on the channel for a while now. Ken's movement is just the most amazing thing once you've mastered it. Whenever you know how to walk properly, microspace with walking, understand, like, you know, when you understand positional pressure and how to abuse it, whenever you, like, you just implement all these things along with just knowing how to, like, abuse the buffer system, he just has the cleanest movement. Like, look at his walk speed. Like, I can instantly switch my direction of, like, where I want to shimmy at any point. His shimmy is so much faster than Ken and Ryu's. No, Ken and Terry's, right? And not to mention his dash walk goes farther than the both of them as well. Like, look how far his his dash walk goes. And all while he's doing this, it's just, whenever you implement it into his actual combo game and follow-ups, it gives him just a huge up in pressure. So, like, if I just do something simple like, you know, a simple bread and butter, I can't do it on Jigglypuff, I can dash walk and stay right on him and keep the pressure, and that's what Ken is good at. So it just molds into his kit so well to where you can space yourself. The thing is like, Ryu's movement is not necessarily bad. I think Ryu's movement's good. But obviously, because, you know, Ken's movement is slightly better, it's good. But Ryu, everyone always makes Ryu out to be slow, but if you actually know how to dash walk and when to do it, it helps you position yourself smartly, and that's what Ryu does well. But, like, you see, like, his normal shimmy, like, it's still good, but as you can see, it's the slightly doesn't go as fast as Ken's. I mean, it's very nuanced, I know. But his dash walk still has good range. Like, it's like a half, like maybe a plank far, like, less than what Ken has, but that's still really good. And then whenever you pair it with his approach options with Hadouken, like, that's still a good approach, right? Like, he still has good approach options. Like, right here, this was one I was really struggling on, but ultimately, just for the, like, the faster speed, I gave it just barely to Ken on this one. I think Ken has the better movement, but Ryu's not that far behind it, and so is Terry's. Like, Terry's dash walk isn't necessarily bad, and his movement isn't necessarily bad. It's just he doesn't have the options out of dash walking like Ken and Ryu do, because of their sliding heavy down tilt options. Like, Ken can do sliding heavy down tilt and the crescent kick, and it's safe as hell if you space it, and it sets them to mid-range mix-ups to where you can just keep on, like, you know, fucking up your opponent. The one thing that he has that neither one of them have is he's got a busted dash walk grab in his movement. Like, if you dash walk grab with Terry, you see how he lunges forward? If you time it perfectly, you see how he just kind of, like, just grabbed and placed it in lunge? It's that right there. You see how he extended that? If you wait for a couple frames and hit grab, you actually lunge farther. I've been meaning to make a video on this for a while. This is a tech that's been known, but no one uses. But with his shimmy, you see, like, he barely goes anywhere. You have to literally roll your finger way farther in, like, to the side than you do with Ken and Ryu, which sometimes can end up turning into, like, misinput dashes. It just takes some time to get used to. But as you see, it takes him a lot longer to switch directions. And then you'll sometimes get misinput dashes, and it's really annoying. But overall, like, what he makes up for on the ground, though, he makes up for it in the air. So when it comes to air acceleration, which, you know what, I'm actually gonna go ahead and give him a point for that, because that is actually a very fair point to this argument that I wasn't thinking about. But yeah, Terry having being able to move in the air and space, like things like fair and F tilt, like, that's something that Ken and Ryu can't even do. Like, this is the part of the game, like, they're not allowed to, because in Street Fighter you're committed to when you jump in. Which, technically, I'm pretty sure that was the same in SNK games, but Sakurai gave him some slack and let him actually space his shit. Yeah, Terry definitely moves best in the air. I gave him a point for that. But on the ground, he's definitely not as good as Shoto's. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. His spacing tools are arguably the best out of all three of them. Okay, which, going to my next point before I go too long off of my next long tangent, is going to be spacing tools. I honestly was tied. I couldn't make a full decision. It was between Ryu and Terry. Mainly because we all know that Ryu's spacing and microspacing is broken as fuck with Shakunetsu and stuff. But with Terry, this move, the fact that he can stall in the air and do shit like this, and just wall out so many moves, like people who just can't, like, go in the air and challenge him, like Mario can't do anything about this nair. And when you space back into it, oh, you gonna come at me? Crack shoot. You know, like, he can just sit here and just bully you in the air. And it makes it really hard for you to get in. I could see the argument for people saying Ryu has the better spacing tools. Okay. Best projectile, though, we already know. You guys already know who's got the best projectile. We already know. It's definitely Ryu. Ryu, the thing is that pisses me off is people don't fully understand how broken Ryu's Hadouken and Shakinetsu are. Because they don't use them both properly. Because believe it or not, everyone like gasses up Shakinetsu, which is broken. But normal Hadouken is broken too, if you know how to use it. Because like, for example, a lot of people don't even know this. So this might be new information to you guys. Shakinetsu is actually slower than Hadouken and doesn't go as fast. And Hadouken comes out faster and goes farther than Shakinetsu. Meaning that if you set up Shakinetsu as a follow-up out of a combo and then you follow up with Hadouken, you can normally get an extra hit or sometimes even a jab block. For a simple combo like that, I can immediately like set up with a jab block. And then with Ryu, one of my favorite setups to go for afterwards would dash walk and jump, because as we've talked about before in my other videos, when you dash walk and you jump, you carry more momentum. I can dash walk and jump above him and charge focus. Now, why would I do this? If he does get up attack and I'm that high up, he's getting hit. If he misses the tech, he's getting hit. If he rolls in, I'm turning focus around, he's getting hit. If he rolls away, I'm dash canceling and he's still getting hit. It sets up for amazing resets, okay? If you know how to use Hadouken properly. That's what I'm trying to get to, okay? So, whenever you start setting up things like that, it makes it to where you can just keep the pressure more whenever you're setting up Shakinetsu, and just keeps the conditioning. And it's broken! It's broken! It's why I almost always follow up Shakinetsu with a Hadouken just because of that. It's so good. So, best punish game. Best punish game. This isn't even a question. You guys already know who's got the best punish game. You guys already fucking know. It's fucking Ken. Because Ken, the thing is, like, I'm not gonna, like, necessarily go in, because I know you guys probably already get this. But, to the people in here who might not get it, Ken is busted because of his ability to constantly set up reset scenarios. Whether it's, I hit you with a combo and I've spaced you far enough away where your reversal option can't hit me, and I just wait for you to mash and then I get my opening, or I set you up into a tech chase that sends you so fucking low you can't react, right? And like, it can be something as simple as just landing in there. Like, you know, like, you can just improv and come up with shit with Ken. You don't have that freedom like you do with like Terry and Ryu. Now, don't get me wrong, Terry's like behind Ken, but by a lot. Because the thing is Terry's fucking, his kit does not flow like Ken's does. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that flow, but mainly because certain moves just don't. I feel like the way his combos go, it's kind of like, reminds me of Ryu. They're short and sweet, and they do a lot of damage, and they can set up into resets or set up into juggle stage, which is good, but it doesn't set up to where, like, you know what Ken can do. You know what I mean? It doesn't just like all flow together. It's like, get your combo, set them up into like a bad scenario, whether it's at the ledge or in the air, shark their landing, or set up a ledge trap, which is good, but it's not as vortex heavy as Ken, so he gets the edge on this one, please. Okay, so yeah, that's another one going to Ken. So he's got best movement, and he's got best punish game, and best mix as well. I'm not gonna go into mix. You guys kind of already get that, but he got a point for mix as well, because mix is important. Okay, best corner pressure. Now, this isn't the same as ledge, like, you know, ledge pressure, like when they're hanging at ledge. This is for whenever they're just in the corner. You know what I mean? And again, I racked my head on this one. This one, again, was between Ken and Terry. And I have to say that this one was another one that was hard. Because what I factored in was like, okay, if I have my opponent in the corners like so, I can sit here and shimmy and bully them with like Shakinetsu and like wall them out until they have to come in on me. And with Terry, you know, when you're spacing fair, F-tilt, rising tackle, charge parsing bullshit, it's like a guile turtling you in Street Fighter, and it covers so many options. But with Ken, he can kind of do the same thing, but if he gets the hit, it matters more. You know what I mean? Like, it ends up like doing more damage normally, but the argument still stands that, yeah, you could say that, but if Terry hits you with a nair at the ledge, you could just die at 50. Right? Right. But he doesn't have the same pressure in the corner that Ken has, because whenever you have your opponent standing at ledge, if they hold shield and you hit hard up till heavy roundhouse, their shield could just break and die. Just die at 0. You can't say that about Terry. Terry doesn't have that ability to set up shield breaks like Ken in the corner. So that's like a big argument for why I think Ken's corner pressure is just better. Because of his shield pressure in general. Like, his shield pressure is just so much significantly better. And whenever he's in the corner, if he ever gets in the panic and hold shield, sorry, chat, they're just dead. Okay? Not to mention anti-air Shoryuken killing a little bit earlier than Rising Tackle. That's also a plus. But, like, whenever it comes to him shimmying and being able to move in and out of his opponent's zone and just abuse this, Terry doesn't really have that either. He's got the raw burst option, sure, but they're not safe. They're not safe necessarily. He can, like, now he does still have fair and F tilt that are safe, but he doesn't necessarily have the chance to just kill you at 0 as easily as Ken in the corner. You know what I mean? Because there's so many different ways you can go about it. Like, you can set up spikes, you can set up crescent kick frame traps to, like, go for forward smash. They can air dodge in, and then you get a free opening to carry him across the stage again. It's just, yeah, I gotta give it to Ken. I gotta give it to Ken on this one. Best comeback factor. Now, this one might piss some people off. This one might piss some people off. I'm not gonna lie. Because Go is broken. Don't get me wrong. Go Terry is actual horseshit. It really is. Go Terry, if he's got the stock lead at 100 and he's holding center stage, you ain't doing a damn thing. And I have to give it to... Yeah, it goes to Ken 2. It goes to Ken 2. Because Terry has ways of dealing with shield well. Ken obliterates it. And a lot of people don't know this about Rage Ken, but he gets better kill confirms the more rage he has because he gets more hits done and shit. And I'm not factoring in SDI, by the way. If you factor in SDI, both Ken and Terry have issues about characters falling out of certain things. But in all honesty, like, you still can work around that normally with Ken better, I feel. Because if they fall out of your shit, you can always position yourself to, you know, set up a reset or make them have to choose. Same thing with Terry. But if a Rage Ken hits you at 30, you could just die. If you get hit with a Nair from a Terry with Rage, you're going to take a fuck ton of %, but you're probably not going to die unless you got, like, caught at the ledge or something. Go is broken, but Rage Ken is way more busted. I definitely think Rage Ken gets this one. Rage Ken is actual horseshit. If you ever see anybody complain about Ken, it's because they normally got hit by him whenever he had at least 80 rage. Okay, best juggler. Now, this one might catch some people off. I think Ryu's the best juggler out of all of them. I think Ryu's juggle game is the one thing that really is underrated compared to Ken and Ryu, Ken and Terry. Because Terry's up air is trash. I will die on this hill until I'm done playing this game. That up air garbo. Ken's up air is okay, but Ryu's up air, the fact that they gave this thing iframes, like the fact that has iframes and beats so much shit is amazing. Does 13 by itself, and if you focus under your opponent and they mash, they could just like get hit by focus and die if they just like mash something like Luigi Nair or something like that, right? And you can just stay under them and shark under them, and if they try to like land or anything, you can catch them with Shakunetsu, pop them up, and put them back to ledge. So the moment you get opened up by Ryu, and he's under you, he actually has an up air that's scary enough to challenge you when you're in the air. You can't say that about Ken and Terry. Terry mostly focuses on catching your landings. Same thing with Ken. And Ryu can do that as well, but he also has the ability to stay under you with up air. I actually, for a while, wondered if he had the best advantage state out of the three. I haven't made up my mind on that yet. So, like, yeah. That's the main reason. He actually has a good up air. Ken and Terry's up air is kind of eh. So, yeah. That's a point to Ryu. So, best zoner, best juggler goes to him. So, best neutral. This one right here was actually between Ryu and Terry. That was the one that was actually the hardest ones to make a decision. Because I've already told you. Ryu's Shakunetsu pressure, Shakunetsu and Hadouken are easily, if you count it all as one move, is a top 5 projectile, and I'll die on that hill as well. Because it does everything. You technically have 6 speeds to mix up. If you count all three, the 3 forms of Hadouken and the 3 forms of Shakunetsu, you have 6 forms that you can mix up the speeds of. And remember, Hadouken speeds and Shaku speeds are all different, so you can mix it up so much and approach with this projectile and set up true block strings and shit and break shields, or just get insane extensions, because Shaku Hover lets you combo into literally anything. Like, if I wanted to, like, I can do Shaku Hover into pivot cancel forward tilt, attack cancel back air, and cancel again and get like 60-something damage sometimes. I'm not great at that because I'm not great at attack canceling. But if you implement attack canceling into... What the fuck? Why did I get DK? If you actually implement like attack canceling into your kit with Ryu, it extends his pressure by so much. It's not like... And when you... And that's mainly because you approach with it with like Hadouken Hover and shit like that. Especially in the corner. That's... But the thing is like, his neutral is busted against, like, the majority of characters. Like, it's even decent against zoners, because if you know Hadouken comes out faster than Shaku, and you're spacing with Hadouken more, you'll end up beating them on their startup the majority of the time. So, like, if I was fighting a Simon here, and I know he's like to throw out Holy Cross a lot, I could throw out Hadouken a lot, and just bounce it, and just cancel it out, and just outzone him. So, like, Ryu low-key can outzone other characters. Like, he actually can. Like, Samus and stuff, like, if Samus is charging, like, Charge Shot, and you throw out fast Hadouken, it makes them have to jump or something to move around it, and you can set up slow Shaku and just make them dance around your fireballs and until they jump in the air, and then he abuses his juggle game, which is why I was talking about up air before, which makes his whole kit just work so well, because that's what Ryu does. They literally made Ryu work just like he's supposed to. He kind of walks, he plays footsies with you, he spaces you out with Shaku and conditions you to jump, goes up there, hits you in the jaw, and then he sets you up in the corner and you don't get out of the corner. Like, he just lets you, he just sets up and just, like, look at all this. Like, I can dash walk. That was a true combo. And that was not even, like, even if you have DI on this. This one was a point that I solely gave to Terry, because this is something that Ken and Ryu can't even do. And that's actually edge guarding. Actually going off stage after your opponent and fucking killing them. This is something that literally is like not even in our win objective, because Ken and Ryu are honestly not that great off stage. They're godlike at ledge trapping, but that's not something they can really do. Ledge trapping and like, you know, like doing things like snapping ledge and stuff. But with Terry, God, I'm losing my voice chat. Hold up, don't let me die. But with Terry, he has moves that send you off at such a bad angle. Whoops. Let me go ahead and set him to, like... There we go. Like, he can stall off stage with, like, 2 power waves, like I just did there. And, like, if you're dealing with someone like a tether grab or something like that, you can stall and hit them. All while you're doing this, you can also mix it up with, like, going things like... Going low with, like, Burn Knuckle. You go off stage, you stall with power wave, and then you go low. Power Wave has insane range. Burn Knuckle cannot be challenged by anything in the fucking game, because it just beats everything. And that's not even talking about fair. Like, you can even mix it up and just go off here like this, fall with fair, and do a rising fair. Like, you can literally, like, do fair, rising fair, and up B still. You can do 2 aerials while you're doing this. Alright? Not to mention that if you set them up into, like if you knock them up kind of high, let's see, say like something like crack shoot at ledge, and you pop them up high, you can Burn Knuckle twice off ledge, or crack shoot twice off ledge. So if you set them at a high angle, you can be like, oh, are they going to come low? Okay, I'm going to Burn Knuckle here and just, you know, go off stage. And I still have a side B, my up B, and I can charge Partian. Like, see what I mean? Like, I'm able to do 2 side Bs and go off stage after my opponent. Like, that is broken. But no one talks about Terry's ledge guarding. Terry's ledge guarding is actually broken. It's just very underdeveloped. That's an entire archetype that's unique to him alone in the FGC rep roster. So yeah, he got a point for that. He definitely got a point for that. Oh yeah, best recovery. For best recovery, I put Terry. The reason I put Terry is only... Okay, we're going to go to best disadvantage in a minute. I'm actually kind of glad you said that, because I forgot to go over best recovery. So, the reason I think Terry's recovery is better is because of his ability to mix it up. So, from here, he has several ways he can mix up coming up. He can he can literally side B stall and neutral B stall, and while he's doing either one of those, he can charge Partian. And his up B, when it's charged, is really hard to challenge unless they like fuck up and don't snap ledge. He's got 4 forms of Rising Tackle that he can use. All 4 forms have his entire legs invincible. Just to let you know how good that is, when I was playing with Mute Ace, he was, one thing I learned when I was playing him was whenever he's throwing turnips down at ledge with, like, Peach, Rising Tackle will beat it clean. It'll actually just beat it clean. Whereas with, like, Ken and Ryu, whenever you have characters that have items to throw down at you, you'll just lose. You'll actually just lose for free. Terry doesn't. So that's a big part of it. Not to mention the fact that if I know what they're going to do to come off the stage and challenge me, I have iframes on so much shit. Like, Burn Knuckle. Hard as fuck to challenge. Go ahead and hit me. Come on. If I can do this and I see that, like, a show player's coming off stage after me, like, instantly running off stage after me with Fair, when I was playing with Dusty Carpet, I would time my power dunks just to use the iframes to go through his sword. Completely go through his fucking sword and hit his ass. At one point, I got this weird situation where it actually ended up hitting him and, like, dunking him. It was weird. But, like, if your opponent just, like, just runs off stage after you, you can just beat their ass with just this raw priority. That's literally Terry, man. Terry's disadvantage when he's off stage is just, oh, you're going to run off stage after me? I'm just going to hit you with the beefiest fucking move I can come up with and slap you away. Literally, I've had fucking Lucina players go off stage after me, and I did light Burn Knuckle and punched her in the mouth, and they got, like, bounced off the ledge and died. Like, it's hard as fuck to challenge him from that point of view. Now, if he don't got to jump, he free. He free. But so is all the other Shotos. Like, Ken and Ryu are free as fuck if you take away that jump. But Terry, at least he has the mix-up of using iframe power dunk and charging Rising Tackle afterwards. So yeah, best recovery goes to Terry. If he can snap ledge with specials, I get that, but he has so many ways of stalling, and he has the mix-up of if he wants to go high or if he wants to go low. And if he does go low, especially if they're good at sweet spotting, like check it out. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So, like, if I decide to go low, see, like that right there, you ain't challenging that. I've literally had characters run off to try to back air that, and it would hit them because of the hand hitbox. But with, like, even if I don't do charge version, like the charge version of it, like, I can still do this and just do light Rising Tackle, like non-input Rising Tackle, and it still snaps and has a hitbox at the ledge. They'll put them, like, in a weird situation where they jump or they put in a tech chase. And from that, I can, like, if they jump or something, I can let go of the ledge, crack shoot off ledge. And, oh, wait, that's another fair point. Why did I not think about that? I need to put that down as a point, too. Best ledge mix-ups. Terry's ledge mix-ups are definitely better than the Shoto's. Shoto's got some good stuff like reverse focus, Shaku hover off ledge, and things like that. But this right here, what I just did there, is beyond busted. Because when I jump, when I time this, I have iframes on the rise, and I hit you on block, and it's even. It's even. Let you guys know, and the thing is what makes it even better. Hold on. Let me just grab my controller real quick. There we go. If I set this up at the ledge, that's even on block, and I get a free shield poke with that. If I have go, he can just be dead. That's like one of the freest reversal options at ledge. Okay? Not to mention, like, he also can just jump and do crack shoot and take center stage. That move is hard as shit to cancel, the challenge. And if I think my opponent's just matching at ledge, I can just do Burn Knuckle and knock them away and put them in a tech chase. Like, if your opponent's matching at ledge against you as Terry, you can literally just fuck them up. Also, another thing to keep in mind is if I do see, like, the opportunity to roll, when I'm rolling, I can charge Partian while I roll off ledge, right? So if they hit me or try to challenge me whenever I'm doing this, I can just up B, and it's a frame 5 wake-up option for them trying to challenge my roll when I roll off ledge. Like, yeah, Terry's definitely got the better ledge options. Ken and Ryu don't have stuff like that. They have some good shit, but at ledge, they don't have as many mix-ups as Terry. But Bowser goes down to and wins. Not if you use Magnet Hands. If you abuse the magnet hands on rising tackle, then no, he cannot down tilt you, and you won't get two framed. That's misinformation. Like, yes, you can two frame Terry if they don't space properly. Like, if you hit super low, like if you time it perfectly, then yes. But normally it's not even you getting two framed that gets you killed. It's like if you space it wrong, your feet will stick just barely above the ledge and you'll get punished for it. That's normally what it is. So the first thing that I have to say that possibly would make Shoto's disadvantage better than Terry's is wave bouncing with focus. This right here. Anytime I'm in like a juggle state, I can just Tatsu to go to ledge and then jump back and like wave bounce focus and just mix up where I'm going to be, right? What Terry's option is for this would be B reverse power dunk, okay? Or like mixing up where he's going to land with power dunk, stalling with power wave. Instead of like Tatsu to go to corner, he would crack shoot. But the argument for me is what's better, mixing up light power dunk to land or focus. Power dunk is like a pseudo dive kick that's even on block that gives you free shield pokes and follow-ups, whereas focus will tank single hit moves, but multi-hits will fuck him up, right? If you have a multi-hit move or you know how to punish focus, you can fuck up focus. But in the scenarios where like your opponent would be destroying focus, they would struggle with light power dunk because of how big the hitbox is on the way down, right? It'll a very worst trade in those situations. So I actually think that I actually don't know. But the thing is everyone always like says that Terry's disadvantage is worse than Shoto's. I disagree. I actually sometimes wonder if it's better. Like especially if you know how to abuse your style options and just know when it's your goddamn turn. Like seriously, whenever you get put in a juggle state in this fucking game, some people just need to understand that this is not just a Terry thing. This is an everybody thing. Take your goddamn turn and go to the ledge if you have to, if you know your opponent's option coverage is good, and they're going to shark under you and fuck you up for just trying to unga bunga nair down, right? But, this is one I'm struggling on, chat. I'm really struggling on who has the better disadvantage. I actually don't know. I think just because of the movement choices, it's less committal. That is true. Plus with the wave bouncing and everything. Yeah, I'm going to go in. You know what? You're right. I'm going to give this one to Ken and Ryu. Because they pretty much both have the same thing. So I'm going to give that one to Ken and Ryu. Because, actually, you're right. Because they have way more ways of mixing up focus than he have to mix up power dunk. Kill power. Kill power. This one right here was between Ryu and Ken. Terry has good kill power whenever he's in the corner. But whenever he's mid-stage, he doesn't have the kill power that Ken and Ryu do because his rising tackle is nowhere near as strong as Shoryuken on either character. So, for me, whenever it comes to kill power, like, I want to say Ken. But Ryu's kill setups are better by far. Because the thing is with this last patch, whenever pre-patch with Ryu, whenever you landed down tilt, like your opponent could just SDI out, like if the first down tilt, if you didn't hit confirm instantly into Shoryuken because of Shoryuken's itty bitty skittle hitbox, which is still an issue. But now with the latest update to hard down tilt, we have hard down tilt Tatsu, which Tatsu got buffs, and that kill confirm is so fucking good. That literally jumped Ryu up an entire tier in my mind. Like, and the thing is Ken still has that issue. If your opponent SDIs away from down tilt or something like that, he doesn't have that. He can go hard down tilt and dash walk and get a mix up, but not a kill confirm. You know what I mean? So, but raw kill power, like, it's got to go to Ken there. But for kill setups, just like, you know, your kill confirms, Ryu. Ryu's got the better kill confirms. I'm going to say that. The reason I say the reason I have them both different is because with Ken, it's like, I can hit you at 30 and string you into death. With Ryu, I can string you into 50 and set you up to where, you know, we're playing neutral and now I'm conditioning you and I can find my reset that way. But he doesn't have the flow chart, obviously. So yeah. Kill power, Ken. consistent kill setups, Ryu. Individual points going for that. Okay. So, I feel like I've talked a lot about, you know, my main talking points. I'm looking at the scoreboard, and believe it or not, guys, it's actually pretty fucking close. So, with that out the way, I'm here with the results. Who's the best FGC rep? This is all my opinion. You guys can totally disagree, and that's fine. Coming in with 7 points, Ryu. Coming in with 8 points, Terry. Coming in with 9 points, Ken. Ken's the best. I still think Ken's the best. This character, the reason I think that Ken's better than all of them is his flow. He has the ability to work around his flaws while being absurdly busted and playing a different game. Like, people don't understand how polarizing his pressure can be if you understand what your opponent's main out-of-shield options are. Not to mention... Sorry, chat. Not to mention the fact that he actually has mid-range frame traps. Like, I can do things like this and just come up with shit. Or like, whoop. Like, things like that. And space them away and just keep on harassing them. If they try to, like, mash anything, I can just, like I said, I'm shimmying. I'm able to, like, you know, use shield and all my normals. I can throw out forward smash, and, like, if they do anything, it's like I can just mash on you from mid-distance and be safe. And you can't really say that about any of Ken or Ryu or Terry because they don't have the ability to cancel into safe options. Like, for example, down smash crescent kick, like, you can go into that and, like, down smash is frame 5, crescent kick comes out, max space, that's -7. You ain't punishing that. You jump over that, I can buffer roundhouse and slap you out of the air and just harass the fuck out of you. Like, a lot of people always think, like, you know, Ken's pressure is broken because you're always, like, up here doing this shit. No. No, no. What makes him broken is his ability to space you out and just condition you to have to force your way past him and then stay under you and fuck you up. Alright? Now, it was close. It is very close between him and Terry because Terry's advantage state is still busted. It's still very, very busted. Because whenever he hits you and puts you in a juggle state, his ability to just burst option his way to punish your landing is broken. Because there's no moves that can really challenge his kit on landing. Like, if you know what your opponent's landing options are, you can just out-prioritize it 99.9% of the time. Do you think all points are equal in weight? Pretty much, yeah. I kind of do. Because in viability, like, those are all, like, all these win objectives are things that these characters share. That's the main reason I went off this. They all share that this is a big core, like, objective in their play style. So, that's kind of what I was basing it off of. Now, this could change. This could definitely change. But right now, I still think Ken has a slight edge. Then it goes to Terry, and then it goes to Ryu. All these characters are high tier, though. I think they're all busted. But Ken's kit just works better. And it's more damaging, and he has a broken comeback factor, and he's got broken pressure that no one in this goddamn game has. Really fucking good micro spacing. Frame traps out the ass on block and on hit. Like, and then you have movement. And, like, yeah, Ryu has a better neutral. And arguably, Terry also has a better neutral. But if you are a master of like, understanding how to get in on your opponent and how to abuse positional pressure to condition your opponent to do what you want him to do to control the pace, he will fuck you up harder than Ryu and Terry ever will. Ever will. Like, you guys have seen it a million times. Like, Ken can just bring it back with one nair at 30, and you fuck up one time, and you're just dead. You're just dead. Terry can do that, but normally he has to have go or really read you hard. With Ken, it's just his shit just works like that. He was designed to be like that. That was another main point, though, for Ryu, though, was that he is the most consistent. Like, you know, you have people falling out of Terry's kit and Ken's kit. I ain't gonna lie. Like, if you don't know specifically what they're doing SDI-wise, you can get fucked. If you do know how to read the SDI, it's not too bad for Ken. But with Ryu, you don't have to worry about it. And with Terry, you kind of can, if you know how they're SDIing, you can actually kill them earlier for the confirm you go for instead. Rising tackle instead of power dunk, you know, things like that. People really are afraid of getting forced around by Ken, like I don't see with Terry. Exactly. It's like, it's same reason why I think Ken, like, beats Terry, too. I mean, like, I know this isn't, like, a really big talking point because, you know, that doesn't really decide who's better between the matchup. But when you look at the punish game, like, you know, their raw punishes on each other, Ken just, you know, it just really, like, shows who's got the better punish game because of how the matchup is. It's all about, you know, getting in, making the damage, and seeing what happens. When Ken hits Terry, it's, like, at least double what Terry normally gets because of the reset potential he has. Not to mention, we're not even talking about tech chasing. We're not even talking about, like, we're not even talking about fucking Ken's broken tech chases. Like, his Nair and his Tatsu send at such a fucking low angle. Like, hold on. Because you can't react to it. Even offline, like, I still cheese people with it because they never expect Nair to send him in such a low tech angle, and there's so many ways to set up into it. And even if they do tech, because of auto turn and his great movement on the ground, you can still chase the fuck out of him, even if they do tech. So, like, anytime your opponent's at, like, 38, and this is literally across the entire cast, especially on heavyweights, you can literally get jab locked and, like, take an insane amount of pressure. And the thing is his jab lock combos, like, you could literally just make shit up with this character whenever he gets it. You literally could just make shit up. Like, there's so much you can do with that. And then, like, okay, that's just with Tatsu, alright? That was just Tatsu. If I have you at, like, 55-ish, like, I can set up into that with Crescent Kick. And Crescent Kick Nair is pretty close to be, I'm pretty sure it's true at 50, especially with Rage. Crescent Kick Nair I know is true with Rage. Same thing with Up Air. But, like, there's so many different ways you can go into that. And then at 70, you get the tipper of Nair to be able to send you into tech chases as well. And, like, look at that angle, dude. Like, look how low Ryu is to the ground. And if they're DIing away, guess what? It sends them even lower when they DI away. Now, if they DI up, sometimes they can pop out of it. But if you pair that with dash walking, it doesn't matter. See, like, I dash walk, I'm staying right with him. If he DIs away, I'm still hitting him. That's why, like, tech chasing with dash walking is so good. It gives you that extra pressure that you need just in case they are DIing up and you can still punish it. Ken's kit is so loaded, but it still doesn't work fully properly. Okay, well, I've told you about the broken shit about Ken. Okay, I've told you about the broken shit. But he still has a lot of badly designed shit. Okay, like I said, SDI can still fuck his kit in a lot of ways. And Tatsumaki being negative on hit and getting nerfed like it did also hurt his burst options a little bit. The fact that he still has dash walk hard down tilt, pivot cancel forward tilt, and both of them are safe and can set up into pressure, make it to where, like, his approach options are still good. Terry still has a better approach game, though. Like, whenever it comes, like, approaching with fair, F-tilt, slow power wave, things like that. You know, like, technically he has more to work with whenever it comes to that than Ken and Ryu. But still, I still barely give it to Ken, but Terry's right behind him. Ryu, I think Ryu could definitely become a more meta-relevant character with time. I still think that Ryu is... I really do not think Ryu is that far behind these characters. I don't. He's, like, right behind them. Right behind them. I feel like you keep going back and forth. Dude, I do! Man, when I was making this, I was tearing myself apart trying to make up my mind. But yeah, I still think it's Ken. I still think it's Ken. And I really have been, like, trying and developing Terry really hard. If they ever managed to buff his up tilt and up air, I would have 100% changed my tune. But that up air, booty. That up tilt, ass. Total ass. Give him burn knuckle canceling like he has in Garo as well while we're at it. Yes, the answer is Ken. The answer is Ken. Ken is the best character out of the three. And that's it. That is it. That's who I said. I don't want you guys asking me. And yes, this is going up on YouTube. Fucking Ken is the best. I think Ken is the best. That is my personal opinion. Terry's right behind him, and then it's Ryu. Even though that I do put Ryu below them, Ryu is absurdly busted and extremely slept on, and I will never drop this character. He is still really fucking good, and if you like Ryu, I'm telling you guys, yes, I think the other two are better, but he's still a high tier. he's still a very, very good high tier. And honestly, his matchup spread is good. Like, everyone always swears by his matchup spread is bad. No. He arguably does best against zoners, too.